What's going on? I'm here with UFC lightweight Joe Solecki. He's fighting Drakkar Klose at UFC Austin. So your fight is kind of inconveniently scheduled for the week after Thanksgiving. Has that impeded on your holiday plans at all?
It changes them, but it doesn't impede. No, that's two ways to look at it, right? You could look at it inconveniently after Thanksgiving or conveniently before Christmas. So I choose the latter. I'm more of a Christmas guy anyway. I like Thanksgiving because you're with your family and everything, but none of the food really is anything I'm craving anyway. So if you had steak at Thanksgiving, I'd be really sad that we couldn't have Thanksgiving. But I don't need some dry turkey and stuffing all that crap. So yeah, I'll be training twice that day, and then sitting with the family still. But yeah, it's all good. I'm way more excited for the fight and excited to have a nice Christmas holiday post fight.
For sure. Two trainings the day of Thanksgiving. That's the real deal. That's the heart of fight camp.
Yeah, the old Rocky quote, like, to you it's Thanksgiving, to me it's Thursday. I fought every year before Christmas around this time, so it's usually been that most Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of used to it at this point.
Used to it by now, yeah. So for you, this is going to be your first fight in front of fans since your first fight in the UFC in 2019. How excited are you to get out of the Apex finally?
Yeah, I didn't realize how excited I was until I got the call, and then the more I thought about it, the more as the fight approaches, you're thinking about it more when you're training, when you're running, whenever you're doing a lot of things. And it's super exciting, man. The big thing, like I said, with the Apex that I didn't like, I like competing in the Apex. I don't mind it. I think what's cool is it gets back to the pure essence of competition. You and your coaches, him and his coaches. I couldn't have my wife there. That kind of sucked because she's doing me like every single fight I ever had, except maybe like two of my amateur fights. And we were together. She just couldn't make it. So that's a big part of my fight week too. Is like having a couple of family and friends there. I'm not a big I don't have a big circle around me or anything, but there's always like two or three people that aren't in my corner that I always want around. And on the lockdown fights we couldn't have them. So that's exciting to be able to look out at the crowd and see her again. A couple family members will be able to come and stuff. So all good stuff. And of course, like why any of us, would any of us are like kids or up and comers in the regional scene, and you're picturing fighting in a massive arena like that, like all the other pro sports. So super exciting, ready to get back out there, and it's going to be electric.
Yeah, Austin and Texas and those crowds always bring amazing energy to the fights. So your fight, I'm sure it is going to be jumping in there, and it's going to be a very entertaining fight because you are 5-1 fighting a very tough opponent. So you're outside the top 15 right now. Do you think you're going to crack it if you get a win in this fight?
The craziest part is it's not up to me, so crazier things have happened. Guys have beat ranked guys and not gotten put in somehow. So really not obviously it's something that's waiting on the other side if we can make it happen, and we think we will. But it's something that you really can't think about because I've had guys, you get these opportunities. I could get somebody in the top 15 after this if I won, and they could fall out for injury. You never know. So I've had big opportunities like the Jim Miller fight where I'm like, okay, this is the one that's going to put me over the edge, and nothing really happens. I end up fighting somebody behind him in the rankings or whatever. So it's unpredictable, especially post-COVID. You got guys, before it used to be very much like climb the ladder. Now it's very much guys that are 1, 2, 3 fights in are fighting 10 fight vets in the UFC. So you have no idea. We really can't have that be the motivating factor. I've got to just have the second with Drakkar Klose in the arena. That's my pot of gold at the end of this whole thing. So really not looking past that. But, I do know if I do that, good things are going to happen for me and my family. Contract, climb the rank. That's what I keep thinking about. It's just one day at a time.
Yeah, for sure. So you do mention, the rankings in your division. In the main event of this card is two guys who are ranked in your division. Are you prepared for the possibility if something happens to one of those guys to have to step up? Or is that something that's gone through your head?
I guess anytime you're the weight class of the main event, that could happen, So I guess maybe you cut to 55, or I guess it's not a title fight, so it doesn't matter. But you just make your weight, and if you call, of course you take that. Obviously the UFC loves guys to do favors. It's always a good thing to hop in on a big opportunity last minute, and I think it's a little more money too for the main event. So yeah, hey, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but we're just focused on what we got. But fight week gets crazy, man. Guys get sick, hurt. Don't make weight. Yeah. On the real scene, the same thing. Guys are always falling out and stuff. But at the UFC level, it's not that way, but you do have to be ready to hop on any opportunity that comes. And some of these fight weeks, most of them are like, 24 out of 24 fighters make weight, everything's routine. And then some of them get hectic, so you got to be ready to take whatever it comes and be ready to answer that call. So, yes, I guess so, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's very interesting that prospect's even on the table. I was also doing some research on your grappling promotion. I'm a big fan of jiu-jitsu competitive grappling. So it's called All In Grappling. Are you kind of like a Jackie Moon in this promotion in the sense that you own it and compete, or do you just run it?
I don't compete. It's funny you made that reference, though, because when we were doing the first one, you never know how things are going to go on the maiden voyage. Like, in my mind, I'm like, nobody's going to show up to this thing. It's going to be me by myself. I was making the joke a ton that if I could, get X amount of people there, I'd wrestle a bear at halftime and all that, like Jackie Moon. But no, so I don't want it to ever be a shameless self-promotion. I know a couple guys that haven't made promotions and fight on them, and I think it's kind of tacky because they make themselves like title fights and stuff. And it reminds me, I don't know if you watch The Office, but when Dwight makes the whole event with the kids to make himself the Hey King. It reminds me of that. So unless I knew it could bring in a ton of people, then maybe. But not right now. Not while I'm in the UFC. I'd rather compete on somebody else's promotion and just wear one hat at a time. But we have had some good talent in there. My buddy Jamie Pickett from the UFC stepped up last minute last time, did a super fight. Had some good black belts from like Atos Jiu-Jitsu and all over the coast. It's been really, really cool to have great turnouts, and it's fun, man. It's fun watching. It's hectic and it's stressful because you always get the parents that are complaining about something, or this kid that their kid went against was 2 pounds heavier than them, or something trivial. So during the day it's hectic when you sit back and watch it all and see all the posts and all the little kids that come out and compete, or just like the moms and dads that are weekend warriors and they're a brand new blue belt competing for the first time. It's super rewarding. So I do run around and put out fires all day long, but I don't think I'd have the energy to grapple. I think I could get beat by a white belt if I did that.
So is that promoter hat something you plan on diving deeper into and really making that like a main, not even bigger part of your life than it already is when, someday when you hang up the gloves?
I would love that. I think I would stick in the grappling because it's a lot easier, to a certain degree, because I think MMA can get, it's very expensive to start an MMA promotion. You have to have a lot of things in order. If you're not renting equipment, you're going to have to buy it. If not, the insurance is through the roof. Jiu-jitsu is a little more reasonable. And, the nice thing is, in purchasing the mats, you can use it for super fights. You can use it for regular events. If I wanted to, travel and host my own seminars or something, I could do that. It's more versatile, I guess. And the thing about jiu-jitsu is, you're attracting your everyday person who's a little easier to work with. I think fighters, I've been around fighters for the better part of a decade now. Fighters can be divas to deal with. So jiu-jitsu guys can be too, but my promotion's a little smaller, so it's not like we're dealing with the famous jiu-jitsu guys. So I'd like to have them at least, even while I'm fighting, like 3 to 4 times a year, and then take it from there and make it a mainstay in jiu-jitsu. I think the nice thing where we're at down in the Carolinas is we have some good promotions that come through, but we can always use more because it's growing like crazy down here. So we'll keep it down here while I'm fighting, and then who knows? Maybe I'll be driving all around the country one day doing it. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see where All In Grappling goes and within the next few years. Well, thank you, Joe, for your time today. Last question I got to ask. Fighting Drakkar Klose next Saturday, UFC Austin. What's your prediction for the fight?
Man, it's going to be a tough fight. I've got to be ready to beat this guy everywhere. He's got a lot of decision wins, which means, he's able to get the job done. It doesn't, it's not like you get that guy that's first round knockout every fight. You got to survive the first 3 minutes, or, you get submission artists that go crazy with submissions, then they break. This guy's good, so it's been a thorough camp. It's been very well rounded, and it's been a tooth and nail, grind, just fighting for every position. And that's what the fight's going to have to be, so that's why the camp's been that way. So, I always say the same thing, and it's a boring answer, but when I prepare and I picture it, I always picture, having to overcome adversity and having to fight frame by frame and get my hand raised after 3, hard rounds. But if the opportunity to finish is there, I'm going to hop on it. But, this is a tough, durable guy. I think I've proven to be a very tough, durable guy. So I'm going to say, unanimous decision win for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Good luck.
Yeah, take care, man. Thanks for having me. Take care. See ya.